Hi, this is Deborah Sable Thornbrew, and I'm going to demonstrate how to get started using Simnet in our CSIT134 PowerPoint class. This is the Simnet login page. When you log in, you need to enter your username and your password. You can use the same username and password that you use for your SURF email for MiraCosta College, or you can, when you're registering your license for Simnet and setting it up for the first time, you can use any username or password that you like. When you're finished, you're going to see a screen that looks like this. This is what I call the home page for our class. All of the squares that have the orange bar going across and it says SimBook, each one of these is a different chapter or part of the entire textbook. So if you scroll your page up, you'll see all the chapters are here, so you can read them anytime you want. The square that has the blue bar going across is a project that you would have to complete and turn in for grading in Simnet. First, I'm going to open up one of the Simnet SimBooks. So the first chapter that you're going to read is over here, PowerPoint Assignment 1, Reading Chapter 1, Creating and Editing Presentations. So I'm going to click on that. And then you see a screen that looks like this. In the upper left corner, it tells you the title of what you're about to open. It shows you a picture of the cover of the textbook. Now, this is an old picture. It's not necessarily the current one. So if your textbook has a different cover on it than this one, don't worry. It's correct as long as it says Microsoft Office 2013 in practice, and it indicates PowerPoint. And the author's name is Nordell, Graves and Nordell. Now, if you want to open the entire chapter, this is all just chapter 1, remember. If you want to open the entire chapter 1, you can click this blue link here, Open SimBook. But if you scroll the page up, you can see that here, if you don't want to open the whole chapter, if you only want to open one part of the chapter you're interested in looking at, you can click one of these links here on the left to open up just that piece. I'm going to open up the entire chapter right now. And the first thing that you would see is the very first page of Chapter 1, which offers an overview of what the chapter is about. It also has a list of SLOs, or Student Learning Outcomes. These are the objectives or the skills that you're going to learn about in this chapter. If you scroll some more towards the bottom, it gives you kind of a scenario of what the chapter is about, just like a fantasy scenario of giving you some different examples of how to use the skills in PowerPoint. And when you want to turn to the next page, just take your mouse and click once on the page, and this gray circle with the arrow shows up. And when you click that on the right hand side, it will turn the page. If you go to the left and click that one, it obviously goes to the page before that. So when you scroll to a new page, remember to scroll the page up and read the whole thing, because it's very long and it goes all the way to the bottom. There's a lot to read, and so please remember to do that. You're going to see different things along the way as you are reading the chapter. It gives you lots of examples and illustrations, and I especially want to point out these colorful buttons: Show Me, Guide Me, and Let Me Try. These are actually interactive tutorial links. When you click one of them, for example, Show Me might be the first one, it'll start a movie
To change
playing.
the layout of a selected slide,
Whoa,
click.
that's loud. Let me turn that off. It runs the movie and it shows you exactly what to do to complete this particular one skill. So when it's finished, it pops back to the page. And there's a check mark showing that you completed that tutorial. But believe me, even though it looks like it, you're not being graded or scored on any of these tutorials. So don't worry about that. And you can watch them over and over again. Guide Me will do the same thing. It'll run that little minute movie, but it also lets you do the steps. It will ask you to actually do the steps that it showed you in Show Me. And Let Me Try, that one is kind of like a little quiz if you want to test yourself. Again, you're not going to be scored or graded on this. This is just to quiz yourself to see how well you can remember how to do the skill. And you can run these, any three of these, as often as you want. It's a very good way to practice, especially before a big test we're going to have, because the test questions and scenarios are often taken from these tutorials. So as we scroll through the chapter, you're going to see occasionally step-by-step exercises that might come up for you. You can try them out if you are willing to do that. Make sure that you are using PowerPoint 2013. And occasionally you're going to come across these. These are called pause and practice exercises, or P&Ps. These are actual projects, little mini projects that you can practice with. You're not going to be scored or graded on these either. But if you want to do them, they can really help you practice your skills and polish them so you can become really good at PowerPoint. When it tells you a file is needed, for example here, a file called Marathon Info 01 is a PowerPoint slideshow. These are your student data files. These are files you can pick up from Blackboard. You can download them from Blackboard or just pick up the one that you want and start using it. When you're done with the pause and practice exercise, it'll tell you to save the file, but you don't have to because again, you're not going to be graded or scored on any of these. Occasionally you might see something like this that's called Another Way. If you click on that, it opens up to show you a shortcut or another way of completing the same skill, doing the same skill. When you're done, you can go over here to the upper left corner and you can click this link that looks like a book. That will show you your bookshelf in case you have other books that you have purchased or other classes that you're doing that also use the same Simnet software. I'm going to click back. This little icon with the lines on it, if you click that, it opens up a little navigation page that lets you scroll through the chapter and just go directly into different parts of the chapter without having to keep clicking and clicking to turn the pages. And there's a bookmark feature here if you want to bookmark a page. Also, in the upper right area, you can click this little capital A, which is a font button, and you can shrink or zoom in to the page to make it bigger or smaller print. When you're finished, you can click this back button up here in the upper left corner, this little back arrow, and it'll take you back to the beginning of the chapter. And when you're ready to go back to your home page, you can click right here, Assignments. That is what you click to get back to the home page, right there. So again, you can read any of the chapters or any part of the chapters that you want as we go through the semester. This blue square, I'm going to click this one next. This is for the first major project that you are going to do that is going to be graded. So I'm going to click on that. When you're ready to do that, and please remember to read the chapter before you try doing the project. When you click the project link, it takes you to this beginning page. Couple of important things to remember. You can do the project twice. If you don't like the grade that you receive on the first attempt that you uploaded, you can go back and redo the project again to try for a better grade, but you have to remember you have to do both attempts before the due date. And over here, the upper right hand corner, it shows you where when this project is due by. So you have to complete the whole thing before the due date. On the left-hand side, when you're ready to actually start the project, there are several different files you need to open. One of them is optional downloads. I know it says optional downloads, but I highly recommend that you open these. Best Practices will show you a screen that gives you really good advice on how to get the top best grade you can on this project. It gives you ins and outs, what to look for, what to do, what not to do, that kind of thing, troubleshooting. So Best Practices is a really good way to get started. Also, the solution link here will show you a final picture of what your project should look like when it's completed. So that's a really good way to get started too, to see what it should look like. Instructions, this is what you're going to click to see the step-by-step directions on what you're supposed to do on the project. And the start file, this one, the link that says all Office versions, you're going to click that, and that will open up the PowerPoint slideshow you're going to be working on in the project. So it's going to ask you to modify, in this particular assignment, it's going to ask you to modify this file. And these are the instructions you're going to follow to do that modification. Finally, resources, all Office versions. Again, this is where you would go to click if somewhere in the project it's telling you, now open this other file and insert this into your slideshow, that kind of thing. This is where you'll find those slides. If you have trouble with this, let me know, but it should work just fine. I've never heard of anyone having problems with it. When you're done working on the project, let's say you don't finish it all in one sitting and you want to work on it the next day, you can just save it to your own computer or your flash drive, and when you're ready to work on it again, you open it and work on it again. When you're finished and ready to turn it in, you're going to come here to this screen again and click Upload My File and then Grade My File, and it should grade your work instantly and show you what your score is. And again, if you're not happy with the first time that you get scored, you can work on the file again and upload a second time, but you need to do it before the final due date. So when you're done looking at this page or working with this page, you can click Assignments to go back to the home page, but first scroll up, because down here in the bottom area it will indicate whether or not you have successfully uploaded and submitted your file. If it didn't submit properly, you're not going to see it listed here correctly, so please make sure you double check down here and see that your file was uploaded and submitted. So when you're ready to go back to your home page, you can click right here, Assignments, and here's your home page. And again, you can click any part of the chapters to read them. On the left-hand side, you have links to different parts of Simnet. And if you're not sure if this is the right class, you can look up here in the upper left corner to see the title of the class that this is for, that this page is about. And if you're taking a class, if you're taking more than one class in Simnet that uses Simnet, you can click over here where it says select another class, and you would then be able to choose the other classes that you are taking that do use Simnet. If you have any questions at any time, please be sure to email me directly at dsableThornbrew@miracosta.edu, and I will help you as soon as I possibly can. I will answer your emails within 24 hours. Thank you.